This is the thing. When Caitlin Clark got hurt, and this is going to be a WNBA issue too, not only the Fever, the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark still looking like the only draw.
Caitlin Clark's injury is going to massively affect the WNBA. It's going to massively affect the league.
These ratings are pathetic, and the league leagues to change the rules to make the game more enjoyable.
The WNBA's foundation is being rocked by breaking news, and the most recent ratings show a concerning reality. Nothing is appealing to the average spectator. Viewership drops nationwide as soon as Caitlin Clark leaves the court, and the enthusiasm that previously surrounding the league virtually vanishes.
The WNBA's got a real ratings problem. The ratings came out for the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark game.
It's becoming evident that the WNBA itself wasn't the main focus of the hype. Rather, it was Caitlin Clark. With her out of the picture, the league must face an unavoidable reality.
And I can't believe I got to say this out loud. Let's say this team's not good. And this is going to be a WNBA issue too, not only the Fever.
This is a serious Caitlin Clark dilemma, not simply a brief decline in numbers. We're delving further into the facts, the responses, and the significant problem the WNBA is currently facing in today's video.
The Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark still looking like the only draw.
Since the statistics just came in, let's examine exactly what transpired while Caitlin Clark wasn't on the floor. This is a serious red signal for the WNBA.
Wednesday's Fever Mystics WNBA game averaged 357,000 viewers on NBA TV. That was without Caitlin Clark.
The Indiana Fever and the Washington Mystics met on May 29th. Clark did not participate in the game. As a result, only 357,000 NBA TV viewers watched.
That's still way off. I mean, the previous NBA TV game against the Dream averaged 581,000 with Caitlin Clark playing. And this is going to be a WNBA issue too, not only the Fever.
The same clash with Clark in the lineup was televised on the same network just a few weeks prior, and it attracted 581,000 people. That is a decrease of over $220,000.
There were 300,000 viewers light versus the Indiana Fever. We know now if Caitlin Clark plays on Ion, it's a million viewer game. That's where this ended up going. As people figured out how to watch it, the Ion ratings went way up last year if Caitlin Clark played.
Due to the absence of one player, however, the disparity is far more pronounced. Over 2.2 million people watched the broadcast when Clark faced the New York Liberty, and it peaked at over 3.2 million. For the WNBA, those are enormous numbers and uncommon territory.
That's the real league's problem far as resonating. They got a whole laundry list of athletes that are highly unlikable. I mean, they're just unlikable. You can't snipe at people and expect people to tune in.
When she is removed from the image, the number of watchers falls below 400,000. It's a collapse, not simply a dip.
There's nothing to pull in the casual viewer. They're not watching that Asia Wilson Nike commercial, that's 30 seconds, 45 seconds of pure unadulterated vomit. It came on my screen last night and I just had this face the whole time. Well, if I had that face, everybody else did too. Shit.
At the moment, not even the league's best teams, not even AJ Wilson or Brianna Stewart are drawing that kind of crowd. No one else's presence has the same impact as Clark's. The fans are glued to her when she's on the court. The league cannot afford to overlook the obvious and immediate consequence of the viewership dropping when she is absent.
It is undeniable that Caitlin Clark is the engine.
Caitlin Clark effect. There has been so much of an influx in attendance, in jersey sales, and viewership, all the things.
That's about star power, narrative, and likability.
Caitlin Clark comes into the WNBA, goes through college. She has panache. She has style.
Caitlin Clark's injury is going to massively affect the WNBA. It's going to massively affect the league.
Everything changed at that moment. Due to a quad injury, Caitlin Clark was unable to participate. Not only did viewership drop, it fell. Her absence caused broadcasts to attract between 300,000 and 400,000 people, even on prominent networks like Ion and ESPN. In less than a week, that is a startling drop of almost half of the viewership, and the harm wasn't limited to TV ratings.
In fact, when Caitlin Clark's not playing, you see people turning it off or before selling their ticket.
Demand for tickets craters as fast. Resellers cut rates in half in an attempt to get rid of seats. After spending a lot of money on tickets to see Clark, fans were suddenly desperate to sell them, frequently at a loss. Whole stretches of the arena were deserted. For instance, the Mystics rescheduled a game to a bigger arena so that Clark could play, but thousands of tickets were left empty when she didn't.
We know now if Caitlin Clark plays on Ion, it's a million viewer game. That's where this ended up going. As people figured out how to watch it, the Ion ratings went way up last year if Caitlin Clark played.
What should have been a packed house turned into a lost opportunity as a facility designed for 14,000 only managed to draw 11,000 people. It wasn't a coincidence. It was an obvious indication that fans are paying to see WNBA games, not just any WNBA game.
She is a supernova fame, a level of fame with one-of-a-kind talent, and it is game-changing for the entire league.
The excitement fades, the anticipation wanes, and the people don't show up without her. This isn't just a slip-up. The league is clearly coming apart.
The Indiana Fever have a bit of a problem because they leap knee-deep into this pride thing, and people say, well, they've been doing that. That's great. All these sports leagues have been doing it, and every single year, John Matrix and myself destroy them over it.
The effects were felt immediately. Clark's absence affected overall buzz, ticket sales, and viewership. Millions attended her games, but the league as a whole suffered sharp drops. Consider the first game of the season between the Liberty and Aces. Even though it included top-tier talent, only 1.3 million people watched, but as soon as Clark reappeared, that figure skyrocketed to 2.4 million. It's star power, not a coincidence.
I said, I crushed my own 49ers and my own Yankees over it. You think I was going to let the Fever slide? No, I wasn't. And I won't ever. Every year we'll do this exercise over and over and over again until they stop doing it.
However, the effects went beyond only TV ticket prices falling overnight. For instance, tickets for a Chicago Fever versus Sky game initially cost $86. They dropped to just $25. When it was evident that Clark would not play,
that all of a sudden built another layer of animosity towards this team, actually.
Clark is hurt. She's going to miss games for the first time in her WNBA career. She's got a quad strain. Left quad strain. 2 weeks out. Hasn't missed any games. Let's talk some business here for a minute, if you don't mind. Let's talk about the fact
fans left arenas half empty and canceled their reservations. The league even subtly changed their last-minute ticket promotions, but only for games in which she wasn't participating. That silence says a lot. The primary draw and impetus for the upsurge is Clark.
She is more famous than all of this generation's NBA stars.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
She's so good at basketball.
However, the league does not provide public defense when she has been hit on the court by elbows or hard fouls. They will take advantage of her fame, but they won't support her in times of need. Every game without Caitlin Clark shows that the WNBA is not only losing ground, but collapsing.
WNBA without Caitlin Clark remains an attraction that not many people want to watch. Without Caitlin Clark,
is going to massively affect the WNBA.
The reason Caitlin Clark is the only player receiving this much attention is that she attracts casual fans, something the WNBA has long failed to do. Although there will always be ardent basketball fans, they are not the ones generating millions of views or driving a huge increase in jersey sales. The larger audience is the source of that kind of impetus. The people who watch sports on the weekends, browse social media, and are captivated by viral videos and headlines. Additionally, Caitlin Clark is precisely what they're seeking.
that the Mystics decided, hey, we have an idea. Let's move the game. Everybody was moving Caitlin Clark games to bigger facilities because everyone was selling tickets. There were ratings. It was a ratings bonanza. Now with Caitlin Clark not playing, what do? Well, when you change your situs, guess what? You can't change it back.
She is more than a burgeoning celebrity. She is a force in culture. Before she ever played a minute of professional ball, her collegiate career made her a household brand, and that momentum carried her directly into the WNBA. She demands attention. Social internet is ablaze with her plays. She regularly makes her name trend on websites that hardly ever discuss women's basketball.
There's nothing to pull in the casual viewer. They're not watching that Asia Wilson Nike commercial, that's 30 seconds, 45 seconds of pure unadulterated vomit. It came on my screen last night, and I just had this face the whole time. Well, if I had that face, everybody else did too. Shit.
At the same time, other Elite League athletes, such as A.A. Wilson, despite having the same abilities, Brianna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu haven't generated as much public interest. The distinction lies not just in talent, but also in their connections. Beyond conventional sports circles, Clark offers something special, a competitive attitude, an engaging narrative, and relatability. Because of this, the excitement wanes when she leaves the floor.
She is a supernova, a level of fame with one-of-a-kind talent, and it is game-changing for the entire league.
The WNBA has linked Caitlin Clark to its increased prominence. Additionally, there isn't much that can keep the interest of the larger audience without her. However, this goes beyond attendance and broadcast ratings. The league ecosystem as a whole is feeling her absence. Sales of merchandise have decreased. Numbers on social media are declining. Media attention that once heralded a new WNBA golden age is waning.
That all of a sudden the team's got to try to come all the way back out of it. Are you going to lose viewers because of that? That's something and the other layer was the WNBA investigation.
Once excited to highlight every Clark game, ESPN and ABC are now much less excited about shows that don't include her. It's a clear and loud message. It wasn't a league-wide boom that created the momentum. It had to do with a single star. Without her, the league's business side is beginning to feel the pinch and the air has left the balloon. The change occurred instantly. When Clark wasn't playing, games that used to attract over 3 million people barely managed to reach 1 million.
She is more famous than all of this generation's NBA stars.
Previously selling for around $90, tickets were now available for less than $30. Overnight, venues that were unable to meet demand became quiet. Travel was canceled. The league even started covertly advertising ticket offers for games she wouldn't be playing in, and secondary markets were overrun with listings. Despite this, Caitlin Clark is left vulnerable.
It's going to massively affect the league.
She is the most well-known basketball player. The boom wasn't a WNBA boom. It was a Caitlin Clark.
They will use her image to sell out arenas, but when she isn't playing, the buzz dies and the league goes silent. No Clark, no crowd, no spotlight. Despite the fact that her face is everywhere in WNBA marketing, she has been targeted on the court, shoved, and fouled hard with no one stepping in to help her. The WNBA can no longer avoid that truth. It is now a reality they must face.
The Caitlin Clark effect is going to be tabled, and we're going to find out what kind of ratings and attendance we see for the Indiana Fever.
Clark is the only driver of your business.
The loss of Caitlin Clark is not the only issue facing the WNBA. The fissures are more profound than that. Many fans are leaving games even when they are broadcast nationwide, and this is mostly because the products are presented poorly. Sloppy. Broadcasts, missed plays, clumsy camera work, and abrupt returns from commercial breaks where the game has already started are all being noticed by viewers.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP. She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
She is more famous than all of this generation's NBA stars.
These aren't minor setbacks. They give the league an unrefined appearance. Networks such as ION frequently make basic mistakes. However, rather of being top-tier national events, Amazon Prime feeds appear to be simplified local coverage.
Last night, I posted this. No way the ION network was late coming back from a break. I feel like I'm watching AA baseball productions. And look, ION's production is pretty good, but they do this kind of thing all the time. Strange angles, two up-close shots, you miss the ball off the screen, or something boneheaded like they literally showed back up after the game was back on and play was happening. In fact, they showed back up, a play happened, and there was a foul.
It's a poor impression for a league attempting to establish itself on the largest platform. If professional leagues want their audience to take them seriously, they cannot afford to appear amateur. Then there is the on-court product, Aaliyah. Boston is a talented player for the Indiana Fever. Without Clark, Kelsey Mitchell and other talented players have appeared disorganized and uninspired. Rather than rising to the occasion, the squad has frequently failed.
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT!
She signed my jersey! So happy, I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
Fans quickly leave when they watch a team play without camaraderie, urgency, or obvious direction. Furthermore, it is detrimental to the league as a whole, as well as to the team most closely linked to its growing star when they appear this unprepared.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
This is great news for women's basketball. Period.
Another problem that keeps audiences split is the WNBA's incessant emphasis on political and social messaging. Not all fans listen in to hear about activism, even if the league has openly allied itself with a number of causes. Some people only want to watch the game, and when that message seems to be there all the time, particularly during games where Clark isn't participating, some of the spectators leave.
That's nice.
And she was shooting the shit out of it.
Of course she was.
Right, so she was shooting the shit out of it. And
she's the face of the league.
Agreed.
She's the face of the league. Agreed.
For example, Clark saw instantaneous online outrage when the Fever used pride-themed activities during a game. Fans complained that there was a discernible decline in engagement. The formula is becoming stale. Uneven gameplay, poor presentation, and off-court messaging that doesn't always land.
Just have nothing but great things to say about who she is as a person. She's so welcoming and so warm as an individual that she can have a conversation with anybody. She's cut from the same cloth as me in that regard. You know what? Us Midwesterners, we tend to just, accept everybody with open arms. She was so kind to my family and everyone in the suite when she came to KC. So huge fans of Caitlin.
In addition to losing casual viewers, the league is also upsetting its devoted fan base. However, the most concerning aspect of this is what it reveals about the league's basis. These are not merely declines in engagement. Rather, they represent a clear warning sign. If you agree with us, give this video a thumbs up and click subscribe for more straightforward analysis of the major sports stories. We appreciate you watching, and we'll see you in the next